Before we talk about how to draw a cylinder, let's talk about the anatomy of a cylinder and what an ellipse is. So an ellipse is just a circle drawn in perspective. And this cylinder's got a couple construction lines. This vertical one that goes right down the center is called the center line. The horizontal one that cuts through each ellipse is called the major axis. And you'll notice that the ellipse on the top of the cylinder is narrower, sort of vertically squished, more so than the ellipse on the bottom of the cylinder. What that's called is the degree. So a very squished or narrow ellipse has a small degree, and a much wider, almost circular ellipse has a large degree. All right, so how do I draw this? I'll start with a vertical that's going to be sort of the major direction of my cylinder. Next, in exactly 90 degrees perpendicular to that, I'm going to draw the major axis. And this has to be equally long on both sides. So I wouldn't want to have it short on one side and long on the other. Now I'm going to start drawing an oval and make sure it touches both ends of the major axis. And I also have to make sure that the top half is the same as the bottom half. They can sort of mirror vertically. All right, so now to make my next major axis, I need to project these down into space, following the normal perspective rules. And then I'm going to draw my 90-degree major axis. And then wherever that overlaps, I don't need the rest of it. So now I'm going to draw another ellipse, and this one is going to have a larger degree. But it's still going to hit those two intersections. So there you go. And it's important to remember that the degree depends on how close it is to the horizon line. So as you get closer and closer to the horizon line, it gets more and more squished. The width stays exactly the same. It only gets foreshortened on the vertical axis. Again, so this has a narrow degree up top and a wide degree or a large degree at the bottom. Now, if you want to draw one of these, it's sort of an arbitrary angle. Your major axis is still going to be exactly perpendicular. It's always going to be precisely 90 degrees from that center line. So I'll just freehand my ellipse in here with a narrower degree, and then one with a wider degree here at the bottom. And I'll connect them up. So it's a really good idea to just practice making cylinders. Now, I'm not going to lie, it can be a challenge to draw ellipses freehand on a tablet. It's just going to take practice. Now, if you want to make sure it's very exact, you can always use the marquee. So for this, you would get it the correct height, and then you just kind of transform it into space. Doing a little bit of distorting, and then when you've got it the way you like it, just confirm it and put a stroke on there. And that way you can get extremely exact ellipses, and you don't have to worry about having a really steady hand. Although I will recommend getting used to drawing them freehand, because especially on paper and pencil, it can be really nice to be able to draw good ellipses.